My name is Heather and I'd like to welcome you to the Cowichan Valley. Today we're going to take a look at integrating sound files into our Notebook 10 activities. We like to encourage our instructors to incorporate sounds into their activities because they're a way of supporting oral language as well as our literacy skills of our very diverse classrooms. Also, our 21st century learners are very accustomed to having sound and graphics throughout their learning. Before I began today's session, I took the time to record some sound files. In our district, we use the open source application Audacity. This program works cross-platform, and you can find it at SourceForge. The process of adding files to objects, sound files to objects, is very straightforward. First of all, we're going to select the object. From the drop-down menu, we are going to select Sound. And now we are going to choose a file to attach to this object. So here we have a direct link to my file structure. And in my sound files, I'm going to choose my first sample, which is a music sample. I'm going to select Open. And now I have a choice. I can either play the sound attached as a corner icon, which is to here, step 4, attach the sound icon, or I can choose to add it directly to the object. Just before I make a final decision, I'm going to preview the sound. And that's the one I like. I'm going to stop. I'll leave it as a corner icon, and I'm going to attach the sound. Now notice, as soon as I press attach the sound, I'm going to have a little icon appear here to the bottom left of my object. And now to play the sound directly from the object, I touch on the sound icon, and again to stop, I touch it again. Now let's make the second selection this time, and we're going to select our tiger from our drop-down menu. We're going to select sound. We're going to choose a file, and from our files we're going to find our tiger file, select open, and this time we want the tiger and the word itself to be the object that we will touch to initiate the sound. We'll preview the sound.
Tiger, tiger.
And now we will attach the sound. If I deselect the tiger and then press on it again,
tiger, tiger.
Now the entire object is my source for touching to have the sound played. There are many places that we use sound files within our educational activities. This is an early activity for our primary emergent readers, and of course at this point their reading skills are not sufficient to read the instructions. By pressing on the sound icon, the students know what to do.
Touch the letter to hear its sound.
So I can touch each letter.
The letter C makes the hard sound K, K.
And I can listen to each of the sounds. I can go on to my next instruction.
Find the picture that begins with that sound.
And again, I can listen to each of the pictures to hear the beginning sound.
Cat, cat, cat.
And finally,
drag each picture to join the letter
I can
that
drag
you hear.
my cat to join the letter C for K. This is another example of having directions being read out loud so that the students are not kept away from curriculum content, conceptual learning, because their literacy skills do not support them being independent in the activity. Let's try that again.
Directions. Drag each living thing into the habitat where it is usually found.
And in this case, I'm going to take my polar bear and put him into his igloo, and I'm going to take my turtle and put it near the pond. Another way of using sound to the benefit of the students, again, this is an early primary example, is to add actual sound files into a poem so that the students connect with the images and the sounds from the real world. Of course, we know a cow says, and of course, with a here and a there, it becomes great fun for the students to get up and engage in the activity. Another example for students and teachers would be to take a look at building up vocabulary when students are trying to learn a second language. Here we have the graphics supporting the concept that we're studying, the idea of police in both cultures, and now we're having a reinforcement of the vocabulary.
Police.
We can even scaffold for the learners full phrases.
Can you help me find the post office, please?
And of course, finally, we can't forget to take a look at music literacy, such as ear training. This will provide an opportunity for students to listen to a sound pattern or a melody and be able to document it on the staffs. And of course, the nice thing is you can stop and start with a single press, right from where you were. So we could start to notate. Go tell Aunt Rhody. So adding sound files to your activities is a great way to engage and support your students in their learning.